Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Tea Talk Live. This is a special one and probably my most significant and important interview to date. I'm going to give a minute for everybody to get into the room before we start the show. But once again, welcome. I am Coach 𝐓ЛЛ𝐓αᣣ, and I am excited to bring to you guys a heart-to-heart with a legend and someone who I really look up to. And I just can't wait to get into it with him. So I'm going to let everybody join on in. Thank you, everybody, for joining the live. And then we're going to get into it. So once again, this is Tea Talk Live, a heart-to-heart with the ultimate heart warrior. You guys hear me use that term heart warrior a lot. I am a heart mom, and for those that don't know, a heart warrior is a term used to describe people with heart conditions and who embrace their diagnosis and who live their life in purpose and resilience. It is for people who have conditions and use them as a badge of honor. They don't use their heart conditions to slow them down, but they find courage behind their heart condition, and that is what a heart warrior is. I am a heart mom. I am a mother of a daughter who is a heart warrior, and today I am so excited because I am going to be welcoming the ultimate heart warrior, the legendary 𝐓ЛＬ𝐓aᥣ Fletcher. So he is ready, and I am ready, so let's get him on in. And informed, and something that we share today blesses you. Hey, Pop.
The queen is here.
The legend is here. How are you?
I'm so blessed. It's not even funny. How are you?
I'm doing well. I was just, first of all, I want to say I manifested this moment. So thank you for taking time out of your schedule to have me and to talk with me. I was just letting everybody know what exactly a heart warrior is. I did my research and I was getting through. I've been holding off on watching My Magnificent Obsession. I'm gonna be honest, because I knew it was going to trigger me in a way because I'm a heart mom. But I watched it, and I took some key points for today's interview. So I'm so excited to get into it. So once again, just reiterating to everyone, a heart warrior is someone who has been diagnosed with a heart condition and uses it as a badge of honor or courage to keep them motivated and pushing through. Someone who doesn't give up or define themselves by their diagnosis, but somebody who uses that to inspire and keep living. And I am blessed to be able to talk to the ultimate heart warrior today, the legendary 𝐓ЛＬ𝐓aᥣ Fletcher. Welcome to Tea Talk.
Well, you know, 𝐓LL𝐓aᥣ, I don't consider myself to be legendary at all. Because I'm just a plain old dude who's lucky to be alive, and that's all due to God. I had nothing to do with it.
Well, I totally agree. I always would, leave comments and let you know you are here for a reason. And I just want to remind you, you can be yourself. You are my spirit animal. You say things out loud that I say in my head. So that's why I always just sit there and giggle, with my legs crossed, like, I just was saying the same thing. Tell them, Pop. So be yourself. You don't have to turn down for any reason at all. Okay. So once again, like I said, we wanted to remind everybody what a heart warrior is, because I use that term a lot. One of the things that I wanted to tell you, and I love that we have a chance to have this heart to heart, because we haven't really sat down and figured out how we align. But I actually had first heard of you while I was waiting on my daughter's heart transplant. So I say this a lot for those who are watching, the parallels with 𝐓LL𝐓aᥣ's transplant and my daughter's transplant, they both received a heart transplant on May 5th, a year apart. So when they took my daughter back and we got the call, they told me the wait was going to be 8 hours, and I was scrolling on my phone, trying not to, be in fear. And you were trending that day because it was your 1-year anniversary. And I went down on this rabbit hole of who is 𝐓ЛL𝐓aᥣ Fletcher. And the more I learned about you, the more I was like, wow, we have like so many parallels in life and so many things in coincidence. So I don't believe in coincidences in life. I knew I was supposed to meet you. I knew I was supposed to align with you. When my daughter was having her heart transplant, I was already a world champion in strict curl and a natural fit. So even then, it was like all roads were just leading me to connect with you. So I just want to open up to give you, for you can give people a little bit of background. Tell me about like how your heart prognosis, I know it's hereditary, but inform everybody again on your heart prognosis. And then I know you went through some surgeries and a transplant. So just give us a little background on that.
Yeah, well, my mother and all 9 of her brothers and sisters or siblings passed away from heart-related problems. My older brother, who was a year and a half older than me, also passed away from heart problems. I have cousins that were younger and older that have all passed away from heart problems. So it is really a hereditary thing in my family. I first noticed my symptoms around the age of 45 after I had retired from competitive powerlifting. And I tried to stave off the operation by losing a whole bunch of weight.
Right.
It lasted for a while. I mean, I was able to hold it off for a while, but it eventually caught up with me, and I had to have my first open heart surgery. And that was a valve replacement. So I had a valve replacement during that surgery, flatlined 3 times, but made it through that, came back. Oh, somebody's mom got an 𝐓ΛΛ𝐓αᣣ. I know exactly what that is.
Me too.
Yeah, so then, you know, that lasted for I thought I was quite through with heart problems after that. I said, this is enough. You know, I flatlined 3 times during that surgery. I said, that's enough, guys.
Right.
You know, I don't need no more. You know, I'm good. But that waited till, I mean, that lasted 2018. And then I had to have the heart transplant. So me and your daughter.
Right. Exactly. And with 𝐓L_𝐓αᣣ, she was on an 𝐓L_𝐓α�. So she was a pediatric heart transplant recipient. Of course, she was 5 years old, but she stayed on that 𝐓L_𝐓αᣣ for 5 months before she got her heart. So I'm very familiar. But one of the things about my daughter and just how I'm built, you know, I challenge the doctors every day, you know, and she didn't ask for much. She never asked to go home, but she always asked to go outside. And her 𝐓L_𝐓αᣣ was this big old machine, you know, it wasn't like the mobile one. She had like the big thing, you know. And so I asked them how logical is it that she can go outside, and it had never been done before. And I was just that type of mom where I just didn't take no for an answer. So she was actually one of the first pediatric kids that was going outside with her 𝐓L_𝐓αᣣ. She would go outside with it. And we have pictures and video of her going out there for the first time with the 𝐓L_𝐓αᣣ. So if you're not familiar, 𝐓L_𝐓αᣣ operates as your heart. So she had tubes into her left and right ventricle with blood going in, blood going out, and that was her heart until she got a donor. So yeah, that's how I heard of you. Like I said, when I was waiting on her heart at that long 8-hour wait that seemed like 8 months, I was scrolling and, you know, I was hearing you and I was hearing all your motivating messages, and I was seeing that you used to bodybuild, and I was like, yeah, me too. And strict curl. Now I will say bench. I don't mess with the bench. Deadlift is my lift. I say I can't stand the old dirty bench. You can have that. But yeah, that is how I align with you. So I knew that once my daughter got well, I was going to go to LA and I was going to compete in your world championships, and I was going to win, and I was going to bring that belt back for her. And that was big dreams at the time, because in the hospital, we couldn't even go outside. So even when we came home, it was months of recovery. So me traveling, especially across the country, was just not in the plans. But God worked it out where she got healthy enough, and I went out on faith by myself, flew from Virginia to LA, came to Muscle Beach the last year that it was there, and I was able to do my thing and set some world records and win and meet you, and it was like instant, like, okay, I'm supposed to do this. This is all meant to be. So it was a great memory, and I'm gonna try to make it there every year, because you told me don't give it to him until I'm ready, and I'm not ready. So I'll just take all the belts. I think I have like 10 or 12 behind me, but I got room. I'll make room. All right. So tell me, you said you got a stent in and then you got the heart transplant. Talk to me about your recovery. I remember in your documentary, you were saying that you actually had to take a couple years off from lifting. But as we see now, you're back in the gym and you're doing your thing. So talk to us about how that was, just having the confidence to go back into the gym, even with a heart that did not belong to you.
Well, I think it helped to be a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
To be honest, because, you know, I remember I was out there trying to run across the parking lot a couple of weeks after my transplant, fell flat on my face. So I think being ignorant kind of helped me out, and I couldn't wait. I could not wait. You know, I call myself the Iron Addict because I've been doing this stuff since 1969, and I could not wait to get back to trying to lift something. You know, I'm trying to pick up something. So I was dreaming of the day when I was laying there like your daughter and couldn't do anything. I was dreaming of the day when I could get back and just put my hand around a dumbbell.
Right. So I know my daughter left out of the hospital with like over 20 meds. Talk to me about medication and how that affected like your overall like mental health and just your confidence in the gym and how your body changes.
Man, TFAB, as you know, the side effects from I mean, I'm still taking, over 20 pills.
Sacroline.
Yeah, we're gonna take these rejection pills
Yep.
for the rest of our
Yep.
lives. So the side effects from the medications, if you have not experienced that, it's difficult to tell people. But I mean, it's some days where it's hard to put one foot in front of the other one.
Right.
But you know what? You know what I always say? It's still my motherfucking set. So if I can stand up straight, I'm gonna do what I can. So I get in there and just do what I can. That's what I always tell people to do. Do the best you can, and we ain't got no problems.
And I think that's one of the things that we kind of have in common with our message, because I always say no excuses too, because I meet a lot of moms and they'll give me all of these excuses why they can't eat right, can't go to the gym, can't lift weights. And I'm like, if I could do this with this sick child, I end up going on show prep and doing a bodybuilding show and a powerlifting championships with my daughter in the hospital. So if
Man,
I could do all that, I don't want to hear any excuse that I'm allergic to it. I don't want to hear it, because there are people that have more dire circumstances that push their way through. I know you've seen me compete. I always throw my heart up. And one of the reasons I do is a constant reminder, right? There you go. And you're probably the first person I told this. I think I lifted better when I was kind of struggling, because I always would say I put it all on the bar. Those emotions that I would have, I would put it on the bar, and it created a world champion in me. And I know with you hearing the backstory, I immediately related to the childhood and all of the emotions and all of the traumas and all of the pains. And I'm like, okay, that's why he's so strong. That's why he's so crazy. That's why he doesn't take no for an answer. Because if he can survive that, then so can you. No excuses. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like when you were competing, what type of energy did you channel when you hit that street curl that people really still barely can do, or those bench press?
which one of you motherfuckers is coming in
There you
second? And
go.
TFAB, I meant that shit because I knew that not a motherfucker there wanted it as bad as I
There
wanted
you
it. I knew not
go.
there had prepared as much as I had prepared. So I didn't consider it talking shit. I was just manifesting what the work I had put in. I knew nobody could outwill me or outwork me. Hey, Mitchell Hooper is on there. What's up, Mitch? That's the world's strongest man.
Hi.
So Mitch is
Thank you for joining. But no, I mean, I definitely can relate. On the other side of it, I was watching a part of your documentary and you were talking about your mom was talking to the light, pleading for your life. And I
absolutely
had to not cry my makeup off because I knew I was going to talk to you. But I lived that moment, CT. I lived that moment.
really.
Yes. But the light was a different color. But I lived that moment when my daughter was on life support. I had that outer body experience where I talked to the light and pleaded for her life. And that is actually why I became a coach. It was certain promises that I made to God. And if you notice, like, that's why I start my day with a positive quote. I always try to just be positive. I always kind of light up the room. It was certain promises that I made to God that if you save my child, I will live this way. So when you were talking about that and you had that premonition that your mother was doing that, it probably touched me the most out of everything because I was that mother. I was that mother.
And I spoke to Joe Rogan. I was on his. He had me on the podcast twice, and I told him, that Joe death is definitely not the end. And he said, "Well, how can you be so sure, CT? How you know? Nobody knows that." I said, "Because I've been dead, Joe."
Yeah, yeah.
I got a chance to glimpse on the other side for just a few minutes, and I know that it is not, without a shadow of a doubt, it is not the end. So,
It's not. And those experiences change you forever,
yes,
So, like with my little girl, she was dead for 8 minutes
man,
and they brought her back. That's when she had her initial cardiac arrest. They first came and told me and my mother when she had her calf that she did not survive her calf. And I remember bum rushing to the back because it was almost like Lazarus. I was like, well, let me go see her. If I could touch her, I can bring her back. You know, that's where my mind was. I was in shock, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So they called security, and I'm bum rushing, trying to fight through the hospital, doors, and then security's trying to hold me back. And I was like, no, 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 no. If I don't get to her, I got to touch her. I touch her, she'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get to her, but somebody came back and said, hey, we got her. Just be patient. We got her. We're working on her. And she's here today.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you just have to have somebody just crazy enough to have that type of faith. And, experiencing death, fighting death, it gives you a different type of strength. Like even now, when I heard you, like when you came in to talk to us before we curled at the Arnold last year, and just hearing how you were motivating the room, and I recognize that, and you see that from a lot of people that had death or near death experiences, how they don't really have that type of fear. I have not had that experience as my own, but I've lived it through my child. And so I bring that into competition, right? If I can beat that, if I can go through this, none of y'all ain't got nothing on me. Just come in second and let's have a good time.
But kept your spot.
There you go. Right. So then when you was like to the death, I went in there and I curled to the death. So, it does motivate you in a way. All right, so let's talk about mental health. I know you go around a lot with Sons of the Beast and you talk about mental health. The biggest thing about me, like I always say, I had a heart transplant when my daughter had a heart transplant, but I suffered a lot with mental health, which is why I had to immediately make sure I'm in the gym. I actually joined a gym at Duke, and I would leave her hospital room an hour a day because that was my therapy. Talk to me about how that affected your mental health, the heart journey.
Yeah, it is absolutely important for strong men or people that are viewed as strong men to share that emotion, that open up and tell people that they actually have problems with mental health. I tell people all the time, like you've seen my movie, The Magnificent Obsession, my childhood left me with some scars that, I battled with into my
Yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of the night punching and kicking, I'm fighting, from things that happened to me when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
it's that men open up and tell these guys, hey, I suffer from the same problems that you suffer from. Okay, I might be a bench press champion, I may be the strongest bench presser in the world, but I also have mental problems. Julius Maddox shares all the time that just last year, he almost committed suicide just last year. And this is the all-time raw bench press record holder. And if he
Yeah.
can, and of such great strength, can share that emotion with everybody else, then that gives them the okay. Well, if Julius Maddox can share it, if C.C. Fletcher can admit that he was a mental case, then, it's okay for me to share it also. So we out there, Sons of the Beast, trying to save people's lives.
And I appreciate that, and it's needed, and we all have been there, done that. I did a lot of press after my daughter's journey, and that was one of the main things that I talked about was mental health. I was telling a girlfriend this a couple weeks ago. I really didn't talk about it, but I feel like I'm healed enough. But I remember going up to the helicopter part of the hospital and was like, I would jump, but I don't want my mama to see my body looking like that. That was the only thing that stopped me.
Wow.
So my mind was so jacked from this experience because, when you go through things, you question how you live your life, right? Well, what did I do wrong? God, well, how did I mess up? Why me? And sometimes you dig yourself in a hole questioning things that you really can't crawl out of. But it taught me not to question anything. So that's why at the top of this, I said, I really don't believe in coincidences anymore. If I experience something, I have to accept that this is what I'm meant to experience. And that keeps my mental health balanced. And so I troubleshoot now. I find a way out instead of worried about why. I try to find a way out. But I appreciate and I love every time I see you guys sit down because especially with Black men, you know, we always have this stigma of strength, where you're not allowed to share a tear. You're not allowed to be weak. You're only allowed to be strong. But you have to have that balance because if not, you'll fall all apart. So I really applaud you guys and all of the Sons of the Beast, if you're watching this. I really applaud you guys and your movement of what you're doing. I support you guys from afar. It's much needed. And I hope you guys keep that thing going.
Yeah, I know probably like or some of the other members of the panel, I had it beat into me, you know what I mean? No, I remember my dad, he was a preacher, and he was preaching my grandmother's funeral. He actually, was officiating my grandmother's funeral. And he looked over and me and my older brother was sitting there, hey, grandma, big mama died. We got a couple of tears. And he was like, no crying, Jack. No crying. Because crying is a sign of weakness. And I didn't raise no weak son, so I don't want to see no. And this was his mom.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
any tears from you. So I think it was a lot of people, a lot of men were raised that same way. You cannot cry.
Right.
And we
But
open the issue.
when they see strong guys like you guys destroying that narrative, that will go on for generations to come. So like I always remind you, God kept you here for a reason. Not only for that, it's also for you to receive the love that you felt you missed out on, millions multiplied, right? So I just want to make sure I told you that, right? Because I know growing up in those circumstances, you probably didn't feel the love you should have felt. But look at the love you receive now. That was one of the main things, because, I'm very observant when I come into a room. I might be TFAB, but I'm observant because I'm a PK too, right? And so discernment is everything. And I would observe you and I would watch how people really genuinely loved you, how you touch people. And one of the things I know that they say, this is for those watching, don't meet your heroes or whatever. But one of the things that I loved about CT, I wanted to be his security myself. I wanted to say, okay, that's enough. Stop talking to these people. And, he is really good on making sure he takes time to talk to, hug, handshake, thank everyone. And it's very rare. And you were the same, whether you were on, and people know what I mean by that, or not, whether you thought cameras or people were watching you or not. And that was one of the things that I said, okay, I feel safe here because I'm very hesitant about the spaces that I align with because of things I've been through. But I felt like your gym, your meet, being around you was a safe space. You were genuine. You took time to talk to everyone. That's why I really want you guys to come out when he comes to the East Coast, because everybody nagging me. Y'all want to meet him. But he is genuine. He spends time with everyone. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about you.
TFAB, I think that is the absolute least that I can do. People say I'm an influencer. I never set out to influence anybody. I don't consider myself to be an influencer or definitely nothing special.
Right.
I am everybody else, and I just enjoy being around people. And I don't see myself, when people say, you see, you famous. I'm like, no, man, I ain't famous. I didn't do anything to be famous. I'm just, CT Fletcher. That's
Well,
all
you
I
are
want.
the original influencer. You actually started all this, just so you know. If you won't say it, I will. You started all this. I don't know anybody that was doing it like you were doing it back when you were doing it. So everybody owes you residuals. So let's move on to meeting your donor. So that's one of the things with my transplant story that I cannot say. It was a pediatric donor and they chose. So donors can donate hearts and organs in two ways. They can want to meet their donor or not. So we never met our donor. Can you just share a little bit about how that helped everything come full circle, just meeting your donor family?
Yeah, TFAB, I did not meet my donor. I did not. I did everything I could to meet my donor, but I did not get a chance to meet I wrote the letter, I'm sure you wrote the letter
Yeah.
to the, and, I tried to express, but you really cannot. I tried to express my gratitude,
Yes.
for
Same.
the most precious gift anybody can give, the gift of life. I tried to express that. And I just wanted to thank them in person,
Same.
but they weren't interested in meeting me.
Same. So our donor was private too. And I felt like that was like the only thing I wanted to do was just say a thank you.
Yeah.
So what we do is we keep a little heart shelf with all of our memorabilia. And so wherever we go somewhere, I get little hearts and we always acknowledge our pediatric donor in the family. So when I went to Mexico last week, I picked up a heart there. And that's all you can do. But I just, just letting people know everybody doesn't meet their donors. And sometimes it does just leave like a little open spot in their heart where you really want to tell them thank you. But, all you can do now is just pray. All right. So I know your time is precious. Let's get into the event coming up. So You have been so gracious that you are coming to Virginia to be at the next Strict Curl meet that I am hosting at the Chaos Lab. For those that don't know, CT Fletcher is the godfather of Strict Curl. He is one of the reasons why a lot of people still curl to this day. He has a long-standing Strict Curl record. And it's controversial. Can you tell us about that? It's a little controversial. Some people claim they broke it. You only really give credit to one person. Just elaborate on that a little bit.
My pleasure. If you don't, in my opinion, just my opinion, if you don't do it under the same rule set that I did it under, then it don't count.
Right.
If you the same bar that I use and keep that head back and butt up against the wall, then you didn't break CT Fletcher's record, because they changed a lot of rules. Well, not a lot, but they allow your head to come off, and it is definitely more difficult with your head. It has to stay up against that wall.
100%.
So unless under the same exact rule set, the same rules, same bar, I'm not gonna count it. But the Russian guy did, so I counted. He broke
All
it.
right. Well, I'm glad you clarified it, and I co-signed it. A lot of people don't like me because I co-signed it, but I do agree. And that is one of the reasons why this year, Strict Curl Nation, which is the Strict Curl Federation that I align with and I meet direct for, has decided to bring back the OBZ bar, because one of the things that he left out is we also want to see it done on the same bar. The Gopher bar, which is the newer bar that we use to strict curl, is aerodynamically easier to curl. So this year at the Arnold, we are having both bars, and we have a new division, and it's named after CT Fletcher, and it's going to be a combo for a total, but you will have one attempt on the OBZ bar, which is strict curl, the original strict curl bar, the bar that CT's record is on, and one on the Gopher, and then one of your choice. We want, and please know, the CT wants to be there to see someone break his record. It's not that he's being greedy and holding on to it. That is his legacy. He would love to see somebody do it. But unless you do it the right way with the right bar, we are not going to give it to you. It must be earned. So I actually did see a guy that I think has potential at my meet. Hopefully he comes to the January meet. I've been actually talking to him about coming. He has potential to curl it, and I think he can do it. He's a strongman competitor. And, I'm not going to talk him up too much because I don't want him to renege, but if you're watching, you know who you are, Tank. Come and Pop will be there, and that would be amazing for him. So, again, go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, I'll be the loudest cheerleader there. I want to see somebody break it, especially, the legitimate way. I've seen guys that have curled more, but like I said, if you don't do it the same way, then I can't really give you credit for it. But if they do it the same way I did it, I'll be cheering louder than anybody for them.
Me too.
I want to see them.
Me too. All right. Well, like I said, CT is coming to the Chaos Lab in Virginia for the Strict Curl Nation ISCA, which is the Combo Federation Strict Curl meet. It's called Heart of a Warrior Weekend. It is homage to Pop and my daughter and just heart warriors everywhere. We want to see you guys come out not only to curl with us, but we have a meet and greet the Friday before the meet. It's taking place January 10th and 11th. The meet and greet is on the 10th. Please come out and meet Pops. Give him your flowers. All of you always talk and comment all the time about how he has inspired you. You have a chance to meet him. You have a chance to get some Iron Addicts merch. You have a chance to get it signed. You have a chance to meet the beautiful Miss B because she's going to be with him. So we really hope you guys can come out and support and meet Pops. I'm so excited that you're traveling again. I felt like everything aligned for this to happen. And when you said yes, you'd come, I almost lost it. So I really do appreciate you. I also appreciate how you always honor drug-free athletes. I can't get off this live without saying this. I never felt like I fit in. Even now, I never felt like I fit in any space because I'm drug-free, and I'm not ashamed to say drug-free. A lot of drug-free athletes are scared to say that they're drug-free. Like, it's like a stigma, and it's reversed. I'm like, why is it like, what? I never understood that. And when I met you and hearing how you were so open about talking about respecting naturals and being drug free. It really blessed me and encouraged me. And you're one of the reasons why I still compete, because I was actually ready to retire. I was
Yeah,
like, I feel like they don't, I'm doing this drug free. Like,
TFAB,
I'm still winning.
when you talk about being drug free, they want you to shh, don't say.
Yeah.
I want you to be quiet about it. You know, that was even back in my day. If I mentioned, oh, hey, you can't say that. So I'm like, man, fuck
Right.
you.
I,
No,
I just don't
it,
get it.
it,
But
it,
I appreciate you, and that's one of the reasons why I said I'll go and support you every time, because you made me feel like I belonged. You made me feel like I felt like I should. I'm making a choice to be healthy and make sure I'm here for a long time. I went through all of this with my daughter. I know how the heart is a valuable organ, and I've seen all this death around me. I choose to be drug free. And so I really appreciate that you didn't make me feel like a second class athlete. You really put me on a pedestal, me and everybody else that competes naturally. And I do want to say I really appreciate that. And that's why I always support you. And, I always got your back, and nobody better not say anything about Pops, because I can fight. Don't let the makeup fool you.
hey,
So
that's me.
I appreciate that. So like I said, I do want everybody to come and just be around you, embrace your energy. You don't come on the East Coast quite often, so this is going to be a treat for us. So thank you for sitting down and talking with me. Thank you for agreeing to come to the Chaos Lab. And thank you I can't wait to curl again with you in front of the Arnold this time. I do a little better than last time, but I'm going to be working hard, training hard. So any final thoughts, anything you want to just share with everyone before we see you again in January in Virginia?
Just everybody make sure you come out and say hello to the man. And thank you so much, TFAB, for having me on.
No problem. Thank you. I feel honored. Give my love to the family. Again, I appreciate your time. I know you have a busy schedule, and I can't wait to host you in Virginia. And we're going to show you a good time. Make sure we have all your favorites, and it's going to be great.
Thank you, TFAB.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
All right. I'll see you later. Thank you so much.
Bye, TFAB.
All right. Bye. All right. Once again, everybody, thank you for watching. Again, the Heart of a Warrior weekend is happening in Virginia. To get tickets for the meet and greet or to sign up to participate in the Strict Curl meet, it is in the link in my bio. If you go to my bio, follow me at @𝐓ЛЛ𝐓αᥣPi. The link is in my bio. And if you have any questions, DM me. Registration is still open. It's filling up fast, so don't delay on that. My meet will be strictly the gopher bar. The OBZ combo is going to be at the Arnold. We're not going to introduce that yet until the Arnold, but my meet is going to be strictly the gopher bar. Weigh-in is Friday night during the meet and greet. The meet starts the next day at 10 a.m. I think is lifting time. We need more ladies, okay? Ladies that are still on this live, I need the ladies to sign up, okay? It's men heavy, but the ladies need to represent. I'm not competing, ladies, so I don't know what y'all waiting for. This is y'all chance. All my female curlers that swear TFAB win all the time, I'm not competing. This is your chance. We're still going to have the custom awards by King 𝐓ΛＬ𝐓αᣣ out of Las Vegas. We are going to have the rep contest. CT is going to crown the Strict Curl King and Queen, the rep King and Queen. So make sure you do sign up for the rep contest as well. If you have any questions, let me know. It is an Arnold qualifier. The numbers for the Arnold are out already, so you know which numbers you need to hit to qualify for the Arnold. If you have any other questions, please DM me. If there are Strict Curl related questions, DM Strict Curl Nation. I think I covered everything. Hopefully you were inspired. You learned a little bit more. I also want to encourage you guys before I leave to make sure that you go get your heart checked, okay? Do not play if you see your blood pressure high. Do not play if you feel like you have your heart palpitations or your heart is racing. There are a lot of heart defects that are hereditary, and sometimes, as you heard Pop say, they don't present themselves until later in life. He didn't experience his first symptoms until he was 45. He was already a world champion at that age. So if you're in the gym and you feel a little funny, please go get your heart checked. Don't wait until it's too late. Your heart is a muscle, and once it weakens, it is hard to bring it back to that condition. I appreciate you guys watching the show, supporting me, supporting Iron Addicts, supporting CT Fletcher, supporting Strict Curl Nation. Love you guys as well. And I hope to share a little bit more just about my journey, but I just wanted to have Pops on because we have a whole lot of parallels in a lot of things. in our life. So again, he is coming to the Chaos Lab January 10th and 11th, meet and greet and street curl contest, also a rep contest. I hope you guys sign up. If you have any questions, let me know, DM me. That's it for now. It has been another Tea Talk. Thank you guys for everything. And I will see you next time. I'm out. God bless you. This will be on my wall for a while, so you can always see it, and I'll probably repost it to my YouTube. If you have any more questions about anything, let me know. Any other topics that you want me to discuss, let me know. Other than that, I love you guys and have a blessed day.